Hi guys, I want to come to you for a moment. I wanted to talk to you about grief. Um, Considering the fact that I do communicate with loved ones crossed over, um, and that gives me an opportunity to really get to know my clients on a really deep and personal level, um, and see them in their most vulnerable state. Because grief really opens you up to a really raw state. You know, as some people say, it cuts you like the white meat. You know what I mean? It cuts you to the white meat. It really opens you up, and it's like it leaves you just your heart. It's like you've had almost like an open heart surgery, and your chest is still open. It's just not, it's like you can just touch that heart, and every time you think about it, it makes you sad, makes you want to cry. So some days are very difficult for some people, and they carry this inside of them, and they don't really know how to extinguish this energy. They don't know how to um, place the energy. They don't know what to do with this energy, and as humans, the bills still need to be paid. So nothing is going to stop just simply because we're hurting. Nothing is going to stop because we're grieving. Nothing stops because we bury our loved one, or suddenly one day our loved one is here and the next day they're gone. you know um, we have become so desensitized to grief and pain and the sensitivity and what it takes to really recover from that. It's funny how we try to ask to be unmasked and transparent, and don't operate in dysfunction, and don't let these feelings fester. Don't let them continue to um, allow you not to be able to make it through your day. We ask all of that of people, but then at the same time, it's like when someone is grieving, it's very dysfunctional for us to ask them or to tell them how to grieve. That's very dysfunctional at best. I don't even think any professional. I think that the best advice that someone can give you and what they think a grieving process should look like, that may be for them. Not everyone has the same coping mechanisms. Not everyone has come to the same place. So grief affects us differently, and it's unfair, in my opinion, to tell someone how to grieve. It really is. Um, Fortunately, someone like myself, I had to go through a process. I've lost people close to me, and my grandmother, my mother, losing those people, and myself, that I don't have a legacy. So it's just me. And so those people were very formative in shaping my life, and losing them in the physical was very life changing, transformative for me, mind, body, and soul. So, how do you cope? For me, I cope because I still talk to them. In my mind, I still hear them. I see them. They come to me. I still cultivate those relationships. Some people call it ancestral worship now. They got a name for it. You know what I'm saying? So when someone says that, we look at them like that's hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft. But on any plane, I don't care what you decide to worship and what you call it. There's no name for losing someone close to you and not knowing how to compartmentalize that hurt. Some of us have learned, go to yoga. We've transcended it. We've learned how to have relationships with our loved ones crossed over now in a different way. Um, that's why you see so many people now. It's so prevalent to see someone who is woke, who has that calls themselves shaman, whatever they call themselves, shaman, mystics, alchemists. We have so many names if we want to call it, beyond maybe on the other side of PhD in theology or whatever it is, that is your particular methodology. It's on you. It's on you. But at the same time, for us to try to give someone a 1, 2, 3, 4 step, like a 12-step program on grieving and losing someone that you love, that's very dysfunctional at best to me. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because that stops some people dead in their tracks, and some people cannot move forward. You don't understand that, and you're wondering why they're doing things that would be uncustomary for what they would normally do, or maybe why they get sick, or what's going on with them. They're trying to internalize all of this energy. It's a lot of energy to process and deal with grief. Even when somebody departs out of your life that you really weren't necessarily looking for them to, a breakup, somebody ghosted you. You know what I'm saying? And suddenly you got to deal with this energy where they have left this imprint, this spiritual imprint, something. They done left something over your life. And when soon as they leave, it's this major void. And learning how to process maybe through a breakup and transmute and transform that energy into something that looks like it loves you, and that you are doing what you need to do for yourself and loving yourself in a certain way to get beyond whatever it is that you need to get beyond. And we all do that, even for myself. I have overindulgences. I probably overindulge on crystals and candles and, tapestry, whatever, But my life is what it is. My lifestyle is what it is. Maybe someone else doesn't understand. Why would she do that? You understand but you have to understand about your lane. Staying in your lane. Understanding where you are. Understanding what energy you're operating in. Don't be defeated. Always connect with your higher self. Connecting with your higher self. And however that looks to you, whether that is through ancestral worship, whether that is just through honoring the spirit and the legacy of someone that's crossed over, whatever it is, if you're dealing with grief, however you need to deal with that energy, you understand, however you need to connect with the energy of your loved one that's crossed over is what's important. And no one can tell you the process to do that. You can consult with someone and they can help you through the process, or help you to identify with, what you may be feeling and how to help you to express those emotions in a way that could be more beneficial to you, more beneficial to your life, meaning that it helps you to level up. Because no matter what, whenever we go through a grief process, that is a process of transforming. You understand? We go through, we feel the hurt, we got to find something to do with that energy. It's not energy that we can control. You can't control other people. You can't control the death process. You can't control any of that. So with that being said, how do you express that energy and continue to function in this day-to-day earthly society? Meet your bills, meet the requirements, and meet the responsibilities that you have. If you have children, show up for them, because they don't understand what you're going through. You understand? They still have their day-to-day needs. So they can't afford for you to break down. And especially if you're the type of person that you don't want somebody else raising them. So you got to show up. So how do you do that? How do you take all of that in and still show up and still be responsible and still be everything that everybody else needs for you to be when you feel like you're breaking inside? That's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. And that's why these inspirational life gurus are popping up to help you to weed through that energy. And a lot of times it can intensify depending on what the cosmos is saying. The cosmos saying, hey, we're going through a retrograde. So now, in addition to what you're feeling, the grief, the heartache, still trying to make it through all day, every day, trying to meet those responsibilities, still show up for the kids, still fighting and resisting those urges in our divine masculine or divine feminine, whatever it is. You understand? Sometimes you have one party or another. If there's kids involved, some people will operate in a spirit of lack. And they won't show up. And then they'll make an excuse. But that's not functioning behavior either. That's bad pathology as well. So we just have to know where we are and conquer that. Stay positive in your mental and find a way to channel that energy and transmute it into something that levels you up. Sometimes telling our story. You know what I mean? You might write a book about your situation. You know, help your kids write maybe a legacy book if they lost a parent in the process, and you helping them to get their photos together and helping them to create this masterpiece that they want to create in honor of their ancestor that they've lost, their dad or their mom or someone, their grandmom or someone that was very important to them, in the process of helping them to transmute that energy into something positive and something that they'll be proud of and something that can be put on your ancestral altar, something that the kids can get involved with. It's not all about you. The kids can get involved. And as a parent, they see you in there with your altar. They have a sense of pride that they get a chance to make a contribution to it. And you never know what may come out of it in this digital world. So, you know, I just wanted to deal with, to address grief, because in my day-to-day practice, I get a lot of people, private appointments, with individuals who are processing through the energy of grief. I get a lot of people who are processing through that. And so I just wanted to come and just tell you that, you know, when you're feeling like no one can really tell you how to feel, not even a professional who may be some type of counselor and at the top of their echelon in regards to their accolades and their titles, but even still, they didn't live your life. They didn't live your life. So it's hard to go in there. You can sit in there and you can listen, but it just depends on where you are as to whether or not it's going to resonate with you, because some people don't want the textbook explanation as to what you think I ought to be feeling, because you don't really understand what my husband, what my wife, what my mother, my father, what my grandmother, my grandfather, you know, what my child, you know, what my boyfriend, what my baby daddy, what my baby mama. You don't know what they meant to me. You don't know. You're not making a contribution to my life on a day-to-day basis. You're not paying any bills over here. You understand? Matter of fact, you are a bill. So I don't really want to sit here and for you listen to you tell me how to process my grief. That's how I felt. You know, it's kind of bitter. It's bitter, but it's real as well. You know, let somebody else tell you. You can't. The best way to be able to really tap into your grief is to tap into the energy of your loved one and talk to them. I do all day, every day. Them, in addition to my divine team, we all be having a staff meeting. You know, and at my staff meeting with my divine team, my grandmother wants to be there. My mama wants to be there. My daddy wants to be there. They got an interest in me and my life. So, yeah, I have conversations with them. And it doesn't make me crazy. But if you think that I am, I could give a damn less. And that goes for how other people are feeling as well. I don't care how nobody else is feeling, because somebody understand their life. Then here it is. You know, I need to smoke a little weed. You understand? I can't smoke no weed because I'm in the middle of job hunting because I fell apart when things happen. So now I'm out here smoking this bullshit that you put out here for me. But I really need to smoke a little weed just to get through. Don't have that either. Because you got these criterias and stipulations to hold people like us back because I don't want to get into that. But you know what I'm saying. You got people out here that they need a little bit of weed in their life. They need a little bit. Some sick, don't feel good, but you got these testing laws and stuff in place. So then you force them to go do some shit that's not good for their health. Things that are not conducive for them and their lifestyle. And then when you get done, then you tell them how dysfunctional they are for doing it. Okay? So everybody's not there. Everybody's not there and everybody don't want to hear it. So I'm just saying, for you out there who are grieving or who are heartbroken, understand that I understand where you are. And I understand how you feel about people that talk down on you and tell you how they think that you should process your grief. Nobody can tell you how to feel. You just got to go through it. But in addition to going through it, you still got to navigate this earthly world. Still got to navigate it. Still got to pay them bills. Still got to be responsible as a parent. You still, if you got kids, you still got to be make decisions if you got health things going on. Whatever your day-to-day life calls for, you still gonna have to deal with it. So what's the best way we can cope in this madness and still maintain sanity? Is it possible? I don't know. You tell me. Let's sound off.